Hey, Bella with Self-Publishing School. In this video, we're going to talk about author websites. We see questions all the time from authors who are just getting started or are trying to start marketing their book, and they're wondering, do I need an author website? How do I set up an author website? Where do I get a domain name? What is a domain in the first place? If you've ever felt like that and you're wondering how to set up an author website, this video is going to teach you the steps to go through, and also if you even need one in the first place. So first things first, do you need an author website? The real answer is that it depends. If you're planning to make this a long-term thing, you want to write a lot of books, then yes, an author website may be for you. Some other reasons that you may want an author website are, number one, you want to grow business from your book. So you want to sell a product or a service and are using your book as another marketing arm for that. If you're somebody who, again, is going to write many books and who wants a centralized location to list those books out to people or to send people so they can buy a number of them. Number three, if you're somebody who's eventually going to offer a program or a course or a coaching or consulting type of business, you definitely want a website. Number four, honestly, if you just want to look more official. So if you're somebody who wants to book podcast engagements in order to sell your books, or you want more publicity with bigger networks, or you want to work with big businesses to become partners or get sponsorships from them, one thing that you'll want is an author website. This helps establish some professionalism. So other than that, it may not be for you. If you're somebody who you just kind of want to put your book on Amazon, you're not super worried about how many copies you sell, or you're just not really wanting to have to manage a website, then a website may not be needed. But it is still a valuable resource for you to have if you are an author with any of those other needs. So now that we've established that yes, you may want an author website or no, in which case, go ahead and leave. But if you are somebody who wants an author website, you want to know how to get it set up, let's start with that now. Step number one for setting up your author website is that you will need a domain name. Now, what is a domain name? This is what will appear in the address bar, the URL that is your website name. So it will be www.yourname.com or whatever your domain name is that you want. So this is not free. You do have to purchase in order to have a specific domain name. If you don't want to buy your domain name, then your website will also have the website name of the builder you choose. So if you've ever seen websites that are authorname.wordpress.com, those people did not purchase their domain. They're basically borrowing one from their builder. In this case, that would be WordPress. And so these do have a cost. I pay about $14 a year for a domain name, and that's, you can pay it all at once and then you have the domain for the whole year. These depend on the pricing. Now, some people, if you have a domain name that is popular, or that you want that is popular, you may have to pay a little bit more money, but in general, if you just search your name in a domain website that I'll list here in a second, you'll probably be able to find something within the realm of your name. Now, another question we get about domains is, what if my name is not available? So what if somebody else already purchased the domain? Because there's only one on the internet, at least for a .com. What we always tell authors is, if that's the case, then put books or put author in the front or end of your name. So find a combination that you like. So if my domain name was taken, I would try bellapopebooks.com or author Bella Pope or bellapopeauthor.com until I find one that is available. So you can do that with yours as well if your actual full name or your author name is taken. Now, where do you go to actually purchase this domain? You can honestly just Google buy domain, and there will be a ton of different websites that come up where you can go. A couple of the most popular we know of are really GoDaddy, which is one I've always used, domain.com, or Google Domains are some popular ones. But really do some searching and see if you can get a lower price or what works well for you, depending on the domain site that you're going to purchase from. Again, we typically recommend GoDaddy, and I'll explain a little bit later in the video why that's just a simple solution and why I've always used it for the dozens of domain names that I've purchased over the years. Step number two for building your author website involves getting hosting. So when we talk about web hosting, what I really want you to picture is real estate on the internet. So what you're paying for with domain hosting is it's the data that your website is going to use to live online. So when I say real estate, I say you have to pay to have your website on the internet. The range of how much it is depends on how big your website is, so how much traffic you have coming to it, as well as the level of data or protection that you want available for your website. Averagely, you can spend $20 a month, maybe less, depending on where you host it. Having 2 websites fully up and running, I pay $50 a month with WP Engine. Now, there's a number of different hosting providers that you can use. We see a lot recommended from Bluehost, from GoDaddy as well, and WP Engine. So I use WP Engine. I've used that for a little while now as well. And so the perk with GoDaddy is that at some point here in the next little sections of this video, you'll have to connect your hosting with your domain and with your website builder, which is the next step that I'll get to. And GoDaddy is a really good solution that connects all of those together. So the hosting has to be connected to all of those things, but it is a separate step and a separate thing you're paying for outside of just your domain name. Step number 3 for your author website is to find a builder that you want to use. Now, a website builder is different than hosting, different than a domain name. Now, whenever you have a website that you're going to write blog posts on, that you're going to edit pages, that you're going to upload different things to, you need a place to log in and do all of that on and do all of the designing. And so that is your website builder. You'll notice website builders like WordPress, Squarespace, Wix, or Blogger. Those are just some common examples of website builders that are pretty mainstream, meaning they're easy to use. They have a lot of help support when it comes to online videos and tutorials as well. I've always used WordPress. WordPress at heart. It's what we use here at Self Publishing School. It's what we use for all of our websites and my personal websites as well. So that is a recommendation to you if you want to get started, although I know many authors do use Wix, and that's simple as well. So your website builder usually doesn't cost a whole bunch. The price really comes in when it comes to if you want to do design add-ons, if you need somebody to design your website. An example of a good website builder design element is a company called Showit. I use it on one of my personal websites, and it's really meant as an add-on to WordPress, but gives you a way to customize it a little bit further. So if you're somebody who's more advanced in website design and you want something that's easy to use, that's additional or more advanced, and you really want to take your website to the next level, Showit is something that you can use as an add-on with WordPress, but also when it comes to the design of your website, there are other options as well. So let's get into step number 4, which is picking the theme or design of your website as a whole. Now, when it comes to this, you're going to be offered options when you start building your website on whichever builder you choose to change the theme. This is really the layout of your website, what it looks like, what are the different options, how stuff is displayed from your menu to how your blog feed looks, and those types of things. Now, when I say there are paid options, you can get paid themes that are usually more highly customizable. WordPress has a ton of different themes you can use, and I know that other websites do as well. And again, I'll mention Showit as an additional website service that can be a design element or a theme that is connected to WordPress but isn't through it. So a lot of these other themes are usually through your website builder. This is where you can decide what colors you want, what fonts you want, and also how to adjust your layout. There are also really cool add-ons to your builders, especially I know in WordPress, where you can have a drag and drop builder as a theme instead, so you can customize your website even more. But again, that is getting a little bit more advanced. If you're looking for something really simple, just a single page, which if you're just starting as an author, that's really all you need, then something that's a simple free theme will be more than enough for you. Step number 5 for building your author website, now you have to connect the pieces. So I mentioned earlier that you'd have to connect your domain, your hosting, and your website builder. So this is a step where you get to do all 3 of those. Now, in some places, like I mentioned GoDaddy, you can do all of this up front, where you'll purchase your domain and it will take you through a series of steps to get started with a builder and their own hosting provider. So that's a good one-stop shop if you're looking for something simple and you're not very tech savvy. But there are other options. So if you've decided that you need something a little bit more advanced when it comes to hosting than GoDaddy, there are separate steps where you have to log into your hosting provider, you have to connect your domain where you purchased it, and additional steps therein. So there's not really a single step-by-step procedure because different hosting providers need different things. And so whatever hosting provider you choose, there will probably be ample help and tutorial articles on their website to help you through that process, as well as some chat support. Hosting providers usually come with some kind of chat support to help you out in that department. But this is a stage where you connect all of this, so when you type in your domain online, you will actually come up with a full new website page that is your website. And so step number 6 for setting up your author website is to actually build your pages. Now, many starting authors don't need a ton of different pages in order to have a functioning website, right? You need a home page, which is ideal. An about page is questionable. You may not need it just yet. A books page you definitely want to have, and then a contact page at a minimum. So those are the minimum that we recommend. Now, if you are somebody who has a blog, maybe you've already had a website for a little while and you just want to add some stuff to it, you can create a blog page as well, which will have the feed of all your blog posts. And further than that, if you're a business, you will have a services page and potentially a resources page if you already have some of your lead magnets set up to grow your email list. But that is a topic for a different video. When it comes to your website, you really just have to build your pages. And so when it comes to those pages, what I ask a lot of our authors is to give your page one purpose. So what is the purpose of your homepage? Do you want people to buy your book? Do you want them to sign up to your email list? Do you want people to just know about you, which isn't a good purpose for your homepage? Pick a purpose for each page and then design your elements and everything you put in that page to serve that purpose. So if your homepage is really about collecting leads for your email list, right, to get somebody to give you their email address and phone number so you can send them something for free or to sign up for your newsletter, what you want to do is make sure your homepage is set up for that. So instead of the top of the homepage being all about you and all about who you are and what you do, what you want at the top is give them something for free and then have them sign up. And so in another video where I actually audit authors' websites, I will kind of explain in more detail the importance of those elements. But what you need to know for setting up your author website is to make a list of the pages you want to create, what is the purpose of those pages, and then make them on the back end of your website builder. And if you're not quite sure how to make a new page, you can probably Google or search in YouTube, create a new page in WordPress tutorial, and a lot of different stuff will come up for you. Those are all of the steps for really just getting set up with your author website. Obviously, there are so many more things that go into an author website. What you have there, why, how are the pages constructed, what is the purpose, how do I get my form for my email list onto my website. Those are a little bit more advanced and I will cover those in a future video. But all that being said, what questions do you have about author websites? Drop them down below. We may answer them there. We might just make a new video answering these questions because we know websites can be confusing, especially for authors, because there's a different way to set all of that up. That's kind of why we just decided to start doing this for our authors here at Self Publishing School, but we still want to help you out as well. So comment down below and then subscribe because we will be creating a series on author websites. And the next video coming up is going to be an audit of various author websites. I'm talking probably over 20 websites ranging from nonfiction self-help to business books to children's books and fiction in various genres like fantasy and romance. So stick around for those if you want some tangible feedback of real author websites to show you what you can be doing right. And if you want to have just a checklist of how to go through and set up your author website, click the link down in the description and we have an author website checklist for you. This will include a layout design that you can use to make sure you're setting up your website correctly from the start. That's all I have for you guys in this video. Again, comment your questions down below and make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.